Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. When Kody Brown compared himself to one of his ancestors who is viewed as a womanizer in a recent Sister Wives episode, it's possible that his ego was on display. Kody was formerly married to 4 different women: ROBYN Brown, Christine Brown, Janelle Brown, and Mary Brown. Kody and his wives, who had 18 children between them, lived as a single, contented family while embracing plural marriage. But after a difficult couple of years, Christine decided to leave Kody in 2021. Mary and Janelle soon followed. ROBYN and Kody are still married in a monogamous relationship. While at Kody for garrison service, Kody and ROBYN took their children, Aurora, Brianna, Solomon, and Ariella Brown, to show them where Kody was raised. Kody took the children on a tour of Kody, a little town approximately an hour distant from his birthplace. Kody, a hamlet of roughly 10,000 people, is where Kody recalled running around Chaz ID girls when he was younger. Kody told his children stories about his days as a sign salesman while he proudly showed them Kody. Kody was named after Buffalo Bill, whose real name was William Frederick Kody, ROBYN explains to the children. Buffalo Bill inspired the name of the town of Kody, and Kody's father gave him the name Kody, but he wanted to stand out, so he spelled it with AK. Kody shares Buffalo Bill's legend with his children, claiming that he met Sitting Bull and that the two of them toured the Wild West together. He was essentially a showman. When Kody described Buffalo Bill as an entertainer, ROBYN questioned whether Kody also thought of himself as such. ROBYN's question caused Kody at first object, but he later acknowledged that there were some parallels. According to Kody, Buffalo Bill was likely very charming, very entertaining, very friendly, and maybe a bit of a ladies' man, I'm assuming. Kody remarked, "I don't consider myself a ladies' man," to the laughter of ROBYN and their elder girls. Given that Kody had 4 wives, it's impossible to argue that he isn't a ladies' man, which makes ROBYN and the children laugh even harder. Kody clarified that the family's religious beliefs, not his desire for more women, were the reason they had 4 wives. ROBYN thought the term might apply to him, so he rolled his eyes at this. It was clear that Kody could relate to his well-known ancestor in some ways, and he appeared eager to compare himself to him. Kody is the kind of guy who finds meaning in the ordinary and waxes poetic about life. Whether it's his family history, his polygamous status, his fatherhood, or even his previous job as a sign salesman, he has a tendency to romanticize everything. At one point, Kody offered bracelets he had made especially for each of his wives. His justifications for each reflected his feelings. The Latin term meaning loyalty was engraved on Mary's necklace, which was fashioned like a scroll. ROBYN's was a phoenix inspired by a song she and Kody enjoyed, Christine's was a pixie queen, and Janelle's was made with earthy aspects in mind. Kody wanted his wives to understand the symbolic meaning behind the designs he chose for each of their necklaces. Kody's world was upended by his several divorces. Many seasons of Sister Wives focused on the aftermath of the divorces, particularly Kody's mental health as his entire world fell apart. Kody experienced all phases of grieving, including denial and rage. However, Kody has shown us a new side lately. He can now sympathize with his ex-wives and has come to terms with what transpired. Kody made the proper decision by giving Mary and Janelle a fair portion of the proceeds from the sale of Coyote Pass, the 18 acres of land the family had acquired in 2018. Naturally, both Janelle and Mary threatened to file a lawsuit, but Kody did follow through on the land transaction. He also sees the problems in his marriages with greater maturity. Sometimes Kody acts like a child. Even though he is an 18-year-old parent, he occasionally acts like a child, especially when he is happy or excited. At least, he has a whimsical side despite his tendency for drama and excess. Kody looks for life's beauty and the lessons that can be learned from it. Kody has a poetic perspective on grief, even when discussing his sentiments following Garrison's passing. He says that one must accept it or it will consume them. Kody likely uses it as a coping strategy to present things his way and to infuse the mundane facts with a little magic. It is likely best for Kody to do whatever it takes to accept Garrison's passing and move on, especially in this circumstance. Even though Kody Brown from Sister Wives isn't the greatest father, I think fans should still feel some pity for him after his son, Robert Garrison Brown, died. Over the past 4 years, Kody, a 56-year-old Flagstaff native, has faced numerous challenges. His life has drastically transformed as a result of personal struggles. Kody lost his cherished son, Garrison, in March 2024, one of the most devastating tragedies of his life. He and his ex-wife, Janelle Brown, found it extremely challenging to publicly acknowledge their adult son's death on social media. I think Kody will always feel bad for pushing Garrison away, and I even think he may have played a part in Garrison's mental health issues. Kody may still be troubled by his estranged relationship with Garrison. He would probably feel some responsibility for Garrison's emotional suffering after realizing that he wasn't speaking to him, especially during the latter 4 years of Garrison's life. Additionally, I believe that Kody will feel bad and regret never making amends with Garrison. He had several months to speak with Garrison and improve their friendship. He had the chance to spend more time with him and make amends. Regretfully, Kody is unable to mend his relationship with Garrison. He will feel a great deal of guilt because he could have made amends with him, but choose not to. Numerous ideas will continue to plague Kody, ranging from doubting his duty as a father to his inability to make atonement. In an effort to keep everything under control and avoid coming across as weak, Kody likes to portray himself as the head of the household. Since many of his older children have moved on with their own lives, he has lost contact with them and is no longer married to Janelle. I believe Kody is genuinely alone, even if he is married to ROBYN Brown. I believe he has been grieving for Garrison in private, and because he is afraid to be vulnerable, he is unable to express his feelings to others. Since Kody is a recluse by nature and has no one with whom to express his emotions, I believe he will continue to grieve alone. At business_aside_317, a Reddit member, concurred that Kody is grieving alone. It is reasonable for many viewers to criticize Kody for being a problematic father figure. Fans have every right to hold him responsible for his prior transgressions. Like everyone else, Kody is a fallible person. Despite his best efforts, he is not flawless. There are a lot of problems with Kody, but I think that fans ought to think about pitying him, especially for his fatherhood failures. Kody is gradually attempting to move outside of his comfort zone and establish a connection with his kids. He might be able to rebuild relationships with his older children with some assistance from Sister Wives fans. Fans of Sister Wives star Kody Brown are starting to wonder if they would like to travel with Christine's husband, David Woolley. The two have not interacted with one another. There was a lot of tension because Kody and ROBYN weren't even invited to David and Christine's wedding. As a result, many people are curious about Kody's plans with his ex-wife's husband. To see the discussion, continue reading. Kody Brown talks about Christine's rants in Sister Wives. In the most recent tell-all episode, Kody gave his perspective on Christine's outbursts over the years. The Sister Wives star claims that he has been making an effort to be there for every one of his wives and that he wants to treat them all the same way that he has adored ROBYN. This also demonstrates that ROBYN is treated differently by Kody than the others. However, he maintains that there was no issue with that. Suki also shared with Kody Christine's remarks about how fixated she was on him. Kody went on to state that he didn't believe Christine was obsessed with his happiness and that he was having trouble finding it since she was constantly complaining about how unhappy she was. Kody and David want to go on a guy trip. On social media, a few Sister Wives fans talked about the second tell-all storyline. TLC claims that in Part 2, Janelle will be more open about the aspects of ROBYN and Kody that she finds objectionable. In addition, Christine will be candid about being referred to as Kody's favorite ex-wife. However, many were drawn to the episode's depiction of Kody expressing his wish to go on a guy trip with David Woolley. While many fans don't think David would accept Kody's invitation, others are eager to see how it might work out. Others believe that Kody would simply take advantage of the occasion to disparage Christine. Does anyone think David would ever think about going on a trip with Kody? Additionally, I believe David's confidence would be too intimidating for Kody to handle, woman shrugging. In order to disparage Christine, I believe Kody would like going on a male trip with David. I believe that Kody still harbors resentment toward Christine over the family's split. I doubt David would agree to Kody discussing his wife in such a way. Do you really believe David would sit there and hear Kody disparage Christine? I don't think the trip would last long. If someone said anything bad about Christine and David, they would leave, hopefully laying Kody out on his way out. David Woolley's views on Kody Brown and Sister Wives. David Woolley has made it clear that he doesn't like Kody. He claimed in one of his interviews that Christine's ex-husband is a strange and self-centered individual who truly has red in the face. Kody did admit that he made an effort to speak with David in order to alert him to all the unfavorable things Christine would say about him. However, it's evident that David never agreed with him and is now much closer to Christine. The disintegration of Kody Brown's relationships with Christine, Mary, and Janelle was heartbreaking but predictable for Sister Wives fans who had watched the show for a long time. The catalyst, according to many supporters, is his everlasting commitment to ROBYN. However, the focus has now turned to his behavior of his kids, which is much more concerning. TLC laid the groundwork for what might be the most emotionally charged reunion ever in a recently released trailer for the Sister Wives Season 19 tell-all. The network promised, the Browns reflect on where they've been, and where they go from here. In a moment that rocked the fandom, Kody is heard stating, "I never loved them," which is quickly followed by Christine's direct response, "That was a lie." The tension doesn't end there. Mary and Janelle each provide their opinions, pointing out what they perceive to be a persistent disparity. "We all had to be ROBYN just to be treated equally," Ari even says to host Sukanya Krishnan. Many fans believe that Kody's wives and children are also the targets of the clip's glaring depiction of emotional preference. Is he really saying the love he has for his kids is not equal? Fans react. Sukanya confronting Kody about his duties as a father as well as a spouse in a multiple marriage is one of the preview's most significant scenes. She reminds him that everyone in the family should be treated equally as a polygamist. However, Kody protests, saying that love isn't like that. His insistence that people love their children differently by nature has drawn harsh criticism on the internet. Is he genuinely implying that his affection for his children is not equal? Even though every child is unique and you may have different points of connection, love remains the same. Whenever he speaks, I find myself holding my breath out of embarrassment. I get anxious around him. Many viewers on social media didn't hold back, echoing that attitude. I get sick just looking at Kody and hearing his voice. His attitude has worked with Suki in the past, but I believe she's either more repulsed by him or has been coached to be harder in his interviews. Perhaps both. Deep sympathy for the Brown kids, particularly those who appear to be growing more and more estranged from their father, has been voiced by some viewers. It makes sense why his children avoid him. After witnessing this, I've also stopped talking to him, even though I've never spoken to him before. Kody's combative demeanor in interviews irritates others. Every time I believe Kody can't be any worse, a new video shows up to show me how incorrect I was. The fact that he feels free to rage at Suki and vent his repressed anger on her every tell-all also annoys me. Estranged bonds, the question of a father's connection. Fans have seen Kody's relationship with many of his older children gradually deteriorate over time. In a live stream, Michael T. Brown Paedon once disclosed that her father had been emotionally separating from his older children. She said that this problem had gotten worse following the untimely death of her brother, Garrison. In the show's season finale, a sad Kody was temporarily reunited with his estranged family at Garrison's burial. However, some fans saw something important even at that precise moment. He hardly recognized Logan as he laid Garrison to rest, a small gesture that told a lot to those who were watching. The complex interaction between the family, which has been depicted on film for a long time, has now reached a breaking point. What started out as a program about solidarity and fortitude has turned into an honest, occasionally agonizing account of betrayed trust and eroding relationships. TLC will broadcast the first episode of the tell-all on May 25, 2025. Viewers should prepare for an eye-opening experience if the preview is any guide. Kody Brown has never exactly been the poster child for humility, but even by his own standards, his recent remark about being related to a so-called playboy ancestor may have pushed him into uncharted territory of self-congratulatory delusion. On the surface, it might seem like a casual anecdote, just a man exploring his roots and making a lighthearted comment. But fans of Sister Wives know better. We've been here before. We've seen Kody deflect, spin, and manipulate narratives to paint himself in a flattering light while glossing over the chaos, heartbreak, and abandonment he's left in his wake. So when he casually compared himself to an ancestor known for his playboy tendencies, people immediately started to ask, was this a humble brag? Was Kody Brown not so subtly trying to justify his polygamist past, and possibly even romanticize it, by aligning himself with a legendary ladies' man? Because let's be honest, this doesn't feel like genealogy. This feels like image rehab dressed up in ancestral charm. The timing of the statement is what makes it even more eyebrow-raising. Kody made the comment not long after 3 of his 4 wives left him. Christine, Janelle, and Mary have all made bold moves to rebuild their lives away from the man who once fancied himself the center of their spiritual orbit. Kody is now down to 1 wife, ROBYN, and even that relationship has come under scrutiny for its controlling dynamics and questionable emotional health. So it's almost laughable, if not deeply ironic, that at a time when his plural marriage has imploded spectacularly, Kody is out here talking about an ancestor who also loved women and lived like a free-spirited rogue. Was this his way of saying, hey, I'm not the problem, it's in my blood? Was it a last-ditch attempt to reframe the narrative from failed patriarch to misunderstood romantic? Let's break it down. In the world of Sister Wives, Kody Brown built his identity around being a man of deep religious conviction. His commitment to polygamy wasn't just about desire, it was framed as a sacred calling. He often spoke about how he believed he was commanded to live this lifestyle, how he was leading a family that would one day be united in the celestial kingdom. But as his marriages crumbled, some on camera, some behind the scenes, Kody's explanations have started to shift. He's gone from spiritual leader to embattled husband, from self-righteous to defensive, from visionary to victim. So now, when he reaches into his family tree and pulls out a playboy ancestor, you have to wonder, is this just another evolution of Kody's spin cycle? Is he subtly rewriting his legacy by saying, maybe I wasn't called by God, maybe I was just born this way? To the casual listener, Kody's comparison might sound quirky or even charming. But longtime viewers heard something different. It wasn't just a family history factoid. It was a smirk wrapped in a confession, wrapped in a justification. It was Kody doing what Kody does best, talking about himself in a way that invites admiration, not accountability. And the fact that he used the word playboy wasn't lost on anyone. That word carries weight. It conjures images of suave, charismatic men who woo women effortlessly, who live without rules, who collect romances like trophies. It's a word dripping with ego. And by using it, even in reference to an ancestor, Kody opened a window into how he may secretly see himself, not as the failed husband who watched his family fracture, but as the magnetic male whose appeal was simply too powerful to contain in one relationship. Fans were quick to react, and not kindly. Social media lit up with sarcastic responses and brutal commentary. Playboy? More like man-child. One user tweeted. Others called the comparison tone-deaf, delusional, and a slap in the face to the women who had dedicated decades of their lives to building a family with him, only to be left feeling unseen and unvalued. For many, the remark confirmed what they've long suspected, that Kody sees himself as the misunderstood hero of his own story. Not the villain. Not the cautionary tale. The hero. And that's what makes the humble brag so galling. It wasn't just a glimpse into Kody's self-perception. It was a reminder that even after all the heartbreak, the division, and the revelations, Kody Brown still thinks he's the main character. Let's not forget that the context matters here. This is a man whose former wives have accused him, directly and indirectly, of favoritism, emotional abandonment, and gaslighting. Christine said she felt like she wasn't important. Janelle revealed She left the marriage with nothing, while Kody continued to act rich and make lavish donations. Meri was strung along for years with empty promises and spiritual guilt. These women have given interviews, written blogs, and posted heartfelt social media content about the emotional toll of their marriages, and in response, Kody continues to shrug off responsibility with vague references to complicated dynamics and now, apparently, genetic predisposition. If Kody's ancestor was a playboy, does that make his polygamy less exploitative? If his charm is inherited, are we supposed to excuse the chaos he caused? It's a rhetorical sleight of hand, and fans aren't buying it. What's especially frustrating is how Kody consistently uses storytelling to craft his own mythology. One day, he's the victim of jealous wives, the next he's the misunderstood romantic, and now he's a descendant of a legendary ladies' man. It's almost like he's trying on different identities to see which one sticks. Anything to avoid facing the raw truth that his actions, not his DNA, are what destroyed his family.